Veterans, I want to make sure I tell you guys that there are different benefits such as special adapted housing that can be able to support this purchase. It is supporting your service-connected disability.
Well, these swim spas that we deal with, they're usable 12 months of the year. Because they're electric heat, it's very affordable. So it's very manageable as far as summer and winter. 12 months of the year. We always like to say these products are 12 months of fun. There's no reason for the family to be sitting in a bucket of chemicals. So we want just enough to keep the water clean and healthy, but not more than is going to be any kind of toxic to the body.
Obviously, when we talk about all these benefits of physical, benefits of mental, for our veteran community, this is the #1 veteran show here. And we always want to make sure that we're providing value to them. There's different components, right? They have service-connected disabilities that they really suffer from, okay? And with veterans having to suffer with those medical disabilities, this is a component that can be able to support them. Now, veterans, I want to make sure I tell you guys that there are different benefits such as special adapted housing that can be able to support this purchase. It is supporting your service-connected disability. Obviously, you must qualify, right? Having a service-connected disability, being able to own your home. And again, as much as we preach here, make sure you utilize your VA home loan benefit. That benefit and entitlement is tremendous, right? But also having the loss of use of limb. It could be a both in component, but also it can be just one, whether if it's a foot, knee, leg, or something of that nature. That was after, again, September 2001. So our veteran community can be able to gather that grant and purchase a slim swab with it because, again, it's providing that support for their service-connected disabilities. And even if not, I'll tell you this, listen, veterans, it is still a component that's going to support you through and through because the service-connected disabilities are going to need to be something that you're going to need to work through on a day-to-day basis. And Mark is going to give you more information on why.
Well, one of the things we try and do is make it easy to get in and out of these tubs. So some of the things that we can supply along with the tub would be like a railing that maybe help you get in and out of the tub, something that swivels in or out so you're able to get in and out easily. All of the tubs are going to come with a stair unit, so you're going to be able to step up to it, sit down on the tub, turn your feet and get in. I always tell people, don't do what I do. Don't do the boarding house reach or the boarding house long step, because that first step's a Lulu when your foot's wet.
Yeah.
So we like to sit down on the tub, we turn our body, we put our both feet on terra firma, and now we're up, whether it be the stairs or whether it be getting in the tub, either one. We want to get in safely. Whether you're handicapped or not, it's really, really important. There is a water element to this, so we want to be careful.
Yeah.
If we're talking about one of the swim spas, well, something like that, we're going to be stepping up into, and we're going to have railings on both sides, maybe somewhere to put a drink down, so we're able to get in and out. Getting in and out of the tub safely is of the utmost importance because there's a water element to the tub. And I know that we can do that, and we show people how to do that. Some people will put these tubs submerged into the ground, and that can be something that's aesthetically pleasing. Like if you've got a big swim spa and you don't want to look at it, you've got some beautiful view. We can put these tubs. They have landscapers that can come in and put these tubs down into the ground, 2 feet, 3 feet, whatever it is. You want to leave the tub at chair height, certainly. 16 to 20 inches is generally considered chair height, so you can sit down on it comfortably, get in and out of the tub. But there are a lot of options when it comes to that.
And that brings up a great point. Being in your home, that's a very, very personal thing, day to day, right? You mentioned a point, having to see it on a daily basis. But could you get into a little bit more, aspect of cost, space, things of that nature?
Well, value is very, very important. So when we're talking about value, let's compare it just really quickly to a swimming pool. An in-ground swimming pool, I have found in my life, is nothing more than a black hole for money in the backyard. I've built several pools and I don't own those homes anymore, which means I aided on every single one. The typical average for a $100,000 pool installed in your backyard, when I was a kid, it was worth about 50% of that the day you were done. Well, Recently, it's been about 30% of that the day you were done. And now GLVAR, Greater Las Vegas Real Estate, and that's just one of the real estate associations in the country, did a survey and it's only 15%. So to put in a $100,000 pool on Monday and have it on Tuesday be worth $15,000 to the value of the house, well, that just seems kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
Also, the swimming pool, we have found, even here in Vegas, where it's hot as heck, is really usable 4 months of the year. Well, these swim spas that we deal with, they're usable 12 months of the year. Because they're electric heat, it's very affordable. So it's very manageable as far as summer and winter. 12 months of the year. We always like to say these products are 12 months of fun. A swimming pool is about 4 months of fun, even here in Vegas, because of the temperature of the pool. You're not going to heat a swimming pool with gas or anything like that. It would cost you a fortune, be prohibitive. So as far as this is concerned, there are so many things that are better in this case. I'll give you just some examples of being a pool owner. I have a pool guy. Well, that's $150 a month times 12 months. That's $1,800 a year. I like to do everything by 10 years. Well, over 10 years, that's another $18,000, almost the price of a swim spa, just for the electrical that you're spending extra. And again, you're only using it 4 months of the year. When you're in a swimming pool, maybe you're swimming laps. Well, how big of a pool can you do for $100,000? Well, maybe you're swimming 40 feet, and then you got to turn and you're swimming back another 40 feet. Well, these swim spas, it's an endless pool. It's like swimming in the ocean and never having an edge that you have to go to, but you can stand up at any moment and have the water right there under your chest, and you can just say, I'm done, I'm tired, I'm done. Try and do that in the ocean, not always easy to do. So in this case, it's a great exercise element. There are also other things with the swim spas. There are bars that go across where you can just hold onto the bar and kick your feet. You do that for 15 minutes, you will be done for the rest of the day. You do that for 5 minutes, you'll be exhausted. There are things that they come with rowing equipment. So there's an exercise element to it. You can row against the current. You can swim against the current, freestyle, breaststroke. There are people that backstroke against the current. I'm not that coordinated, but there are people that do it. I've even seen some people do a butterfly. I do a couple butterfly strokes and I'm gonna start to drown, but I'm just gonna get in there and any kind of movement at all. And the moment I'm done exerting myself, I just stand up and I'm ready to get out of the pool. Or I might just stand in my pool and sip a drink and just relax and use that element of it too. So they are really our best of both worlds. And it is really nice to have an element of water in the backyard. There's no doubt about that. But the question is, what kind of element? Well, a swimming pool is going to be massively chemicalized. Massively, it has to be, because it's open to the elements. Whereas a hot tub is going to have a cover on it, a very thick cover. That's going to be easy to get open and closed, but it's going to be part of the insulation of the tub, and also it's going to be part of the cleanliness of the tub, and I don't have to use as much in the chemical realm. They also have a thing in them called an ozonator. An ozonator is a box about the size of a piece of paper. Water goes in at O2, bubbles to the surface at O3. It kills any microbes that the filter doesn't catch. So now I've got crystal clear water, but with just a little bit of chlorine, a little bit of shock in the tub. There are really 3 ways to clean water in any kind of application. One is a salt system. Well, we find that most salt systems gum up because the water is too hard and the calcium builds up on the salt system. So that's really no good, because you're gonna not be flowing and you're not gonna be chemicalizing. And all salt is doing is basically turning it into chlorine anyway. The other is bromine. Bromine is wonderful for our hair and our skin, but terrible for the hot tub. The bromine is very caustic for the tub. So even though something might be good for us, it might not be good for the equipment. So chlorine and shock are still the tried and true. The question is, how much chlorine and shock? We use such small amounts, it's imperceptible. In this building, there are 15 tubs at least filled with water and chemicals, and I don't smell any of them. And that's because we're using such a small amount, and that's because of ozonization. Back in the day, they used to use a UV bulb, and that UV bulb would burn out every 2 years, and it would be a constant form of repair. The UV light would burn off any microbes that the filter didn't catch. Now they use an ozonator, and there is no issue with that at all. They last generally the life of the tub. So in this case, a hot tub or swim spa that we sell, a Class A hot tub or swim spa, is generally considered to last 20 to 25 years at least, if properly maintained. And that's a really important factor. So as far as the swimming pool is concerned, I can get into some of the costs. The filter takes an hour to clean, and I know what I'm doing. I've got the tools. The filters in these take 1 minute to clean. If it takes you longer than a minute, you're not hired. Eventually, you're going to have to replaster every 10 years or so. That could be as much as a $15,000 to $20,000 expense to replaster the tub every time, and draining the tub. you're going to use far, far more chemicals in a swimming pool than you are in a hot tub or a swim spa, because again, that element of the cover being closed, and of course it's a much smaller body of water. A really large swim spa will have maybe 2,000 gallons, where most swimming pools are going to have at least 30,000 gallons. So you can imagine the amount of chemicals that you have to put in, and of course then the family is sitting in a vat of chemicals. It dries your skin, it kills your bathing suits, and kills mama's hair color. So it's really, really important that we differentiate the differences between just a typical swimming pool out in the backyard. Again, you might have small children or grandchildren around. You're going to have a 5-foot fence around that. Those fences are very expensive, $4,000 or $5,000 just for a fence that might be temporary, might not be temporary. And you're always under that constant threat of somebody falling in. These tubs, whether it's a hot tub or a swim spa, are going to have a heavy cover on them. They're going to lock all the way around, and they're going to be what they call OSHA safe. So in other words, a kid would have to be 10, 11, 12 years old before they're able to open the lock, and by then they generally can swim circles around us. And of course, they're tall enough to just stand up in the unit and be above the water.
For
so
sure.
It's really, really safe.
All right, Mark, you bring up a really, really great point about chemicals. There's so many different chemical components in the military, but there was a big legislation, and this legislation was in reference to the PACT Act, which again, our veterans are very educated in that. But what happens is that exposure to those chemicals, compiling to other chemicals, over time, we know that becomes cancerous. We know that become in your body that you wouldn't normally put into your body with outside layers. So those toxins cause respiratory issues, cancers, infertility, just so many different things. So now having something that is so useful, but also with a very limited amount of chemicals, so it's great for our veteran community.
Like I said, we have a thing we call Ray's Recipe. Our owner has been in the business and industry for 36 years. And Ray's Recipe is such a small amount of chemicals because we're not in the chemical business. If you walk into Leslie's or one of the pool supply places, well, you might have the kid come with 18 things from behind the counter, like you've got to be some sort of a chemist to keep the water bright in this. Yeah. And you don't. It's very, very simple. We teach you a very simple regimen. We show you a very small amount, and we want to keep it at a minimum. There's no reason for the family to be sitting in a bucket of chemicals. So we want just enough to keep the water clean and healthy, but not more than is going to be any kind of toxic to the body.
So you bring up a good point. I always want to make sure that we're bringing value to our veterans and such things as these swim spas, and making sure that not only are we putting them in position to better themselves, right? We talk about chemicals, we talk about obviously the space savings, and also family use. All in all, we understand that it is not just physical, but also for entertainment. Now, say one of our veterans across the country be able to get one of these.
Well, we sell into California, we sell into Utah, we sell into Arizona. We deliver. One of the great things about going across state lines is there's no sales tax. So when I'm going across state lines, as long as I'm the one delivering it, there's no sales tax. So that saves quite a bit. Obviously, there's a delivery fee, but they kind of offset each other. As far as looking out for one, you know, they can contact me directly, and here at Hot Tub Liquidators, and I'll certainly help them all the way through the whole process. As far as showing them product, I can either email them visuals, they can come see me. A lot of people like to make a trip to Vegas. Nothing wrong with that. We are in Henderson, obviously, which is basically all connected to Vegas. It's all the same city. But a lot of people like to come and visit. Yeah. But if they can't, I can send them emails, I can send them text messages, all types of different things. We have different ways of communicating with people. We find out their needs, we listen, and then we show them options. And that's really what I'm here about, showing options. Some people will come in for a swim spa and they decide, you know what, I'm really never gonna exercise, I'm just gonna get a hot tub, I wanna relax, I need the therapy of that. Other people come in for a small hot tub and I'll sell them a giant swim spa. So it just kind of depends on the customer, it depends on the person and what they wanna do. But I tell you what, if I knew about swim spas before, I never would have built those pools. It's just a black hole in the backyard for money. I lost all that money, and it's not really therapy. And you've got that sharp drop off. I mean, you can teach a grandchild how to swim in one of these easily because it's a very flat surface. Mm-hmm. It's a very level surface. Generally, a tub like this, a 50-inch tall tub, the water level is going to come up to about right here on me. Mm-hmm. Some women, that's their chest, but it's certainly not going to be over anybody's head. If somebody's super, super tall, well, they make a 60-inch tall one where you can have a really tall one. Some people are afraid they're going to hit their hands or something like that on the bottom of the tub when they're swimming. So we've got something kind of for every person and for every budget. You know, they're very affordable tubs. You know, they usually range somewhere between about 20,000 and 50,000 for a swim spa. Most good Class A hot tubs, and that's all we sell is Class A, would be somewhere generally between 8 and 12,000. I've got some tubs hot tubs as high as 20, 25,000. If somebody wants a Rolls Royce, well, we're the Rolls Royce dealer, but I'm also the Chevy, Dodge, and Ford dealer.
Oh,
And a good Dodge Hemi sometimes is what people really need, and they don't need all the bells and whistles. But if somebody wants it, well, good. I'm the Rolls Royce dealer in town, but I have something for every budget.
well, I'll tell you one thing. Many of our military personnel, they love the Dodge Charger. So again, they can roll in here, get them a nice Charger or 300, whatever type of vehicle, a swim spa that you can offer. But all in all, we really appreciate all the information. One big component I do want to go ahead and leave our veterans with, this is not only for an enjoyable moment or entertainment with the family. I want to make sure that you understand that we're here always providing value, and this is something that is going to be able to support your medical needs. And with it being able to support medical needs, these could possibly even be a tax write-off on how you'll be able to hopefully be able to intertwine it with your housing, medical, and so on and so forth.
It's absolutely a medical expense. Many of my clients have taken these off their taxes because it is a therapeutic type of thing, and most of us have something going on,
Yeah.
and certainly veterans have a lot going on.
True indeed. Well, with that said, we always want to make sure you guys check with your financial professional to make sure that, again, your tax professional will be able to make sure that they're able to get this supported. All in all, obviously, contact us with your benefit needs, where we can be able to see if you can qualify to be able to make sure that you can also, get this into your new home when you're utilizing your VA home loans, right? So, Mark, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You provided so much value, not only to myself, but to our veterans on our #1 show here.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
so much.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.